Hi guys, so back on the engine, episode 4. As you saw in the previous episode, I was fiddling around with the kill switch and pulling it over with the quick start, the easy start in it, and we got some splutters again, but nowhere near enough. We had obviously the petrol, the fuel connected, so we're eliminating a lot of things here. We know it's got compression, we know it's got spark, although we've not done a rigorous test on the spark plugs, but after hearing it splutter, there's definitely spark. It might not be strong enough, we will get to that, but for me, I've disconnected the kill switch so that I know there's no issues there. There's no interference with a dodgy kill switch. It's not shorting the engine out or anything. I've just literally, I'll show you in a sec actually. Let's just pull it around. So I've just disconnected the kill switch from the CDI. So it's this white wire here that plugged into there. I've just pulled that out. So now there's no chance of the kill switch shorting out the CDI. So basically what I've got to remember now though is if I do get it started, it's not going to stop unless I touch that in there. And I don't really want to get electric shock or whatever, so I might reconnect it actually. I don't know. Anyway, waffling on, going off piste here. What am I going to do? In this episode we're going to take the pull start off so that we've got better access to the carb. I just want to get this carb off basically because it's an aftermarket carburettor. It's obviously been sat around for a little bit. It's brand new, but it's been obviously, you know, the fuel's gonna gum all the jets up if it's been sat around with old fuel in it for longer than, well, the guy said about a year. So who knows? Yeah, I'm gonna get some carburettor cleaner and just get it all, you know, make sure the reeds and the valves or whatever it's called, make sure all the holes are, you know, make sure I can see some light through all of the holes basically. I realistically want to drain the carb bowl because that'd be quicker, you know, that'd be quicker to do. But I mean, equally I'm quite interested to whip it off and just have a little look, see what we're dealing with. This bit here is going to be a bit of an issue because someone's kind of put gasket sealer or sealant all around there. Maybe there was a bit of an air leak or something, but that looks like a homemade gasket, to be fair. Anyway, that should just pull off and we'll clean all that up. Bit annoying. I wanted to avoid really all of this. That looks like some kind of blanking plate. I don't know what that is. It's got a gasket on it. Interesting. So yeah, I just want to get all the idle jets out and give them a spray. All the idle jets, or all the jets. Anyway, yeah. So that's what we're doing in this video. Because like I was saying, it's got compression, it's got spark. It's just literally, I can see the fuel is going up to the carburettor, and I pulled that off actually, and that had good pressure. So that means that the fuel pump is working. So yeah, it's just literally, I think this is the last thing really. Like the guy said, he said there's definitely a carburettor issue. So yeah, let's get it all off. And it looks like a bit of a pain to get off really, but I need to just take all the linkages off and do, well, that pops off of that one, that pops off there, or I could do it from there actually. Could just undo that and ping that out, and that would stay there. Yeah, that's probably a better thing to do, isn't it? And as I can when I put it back on, I can actually have a look. There's a couple of marks where it needs to be. Actually, that suggests that screw at some point has been at different points on this. Anyway, whatever. I'm just waffling now. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna get the tools out, get this off, and have a little look. Get some carb cleaner on it, and see what we're dealing with. It's probably got gum. It's all gummed up, all gunked up. Anyway. So yeah, I'm going to take this off. So it's just some 10 mils, 1, 2, 3. Disconnect this you pull that back. and then you feed that wire through that little gap, and then this spring's just clipped on here, it's just hooked around there. That'll free up, that will allow you to actually take this off completely. There's this linkage here that you need to, obviously don't break it, be very gentle with this. It just kind of pops up and out of that hole. And, oh Jesus, that was lucky. Anyway, yeah, so then that's going to help us access these ones. There's one there, there's one around the other side. Yeah, that one and that one. I'm going to have to take this off, like I said. Fingers crossed that would be it, hopefully. Screws are out, 1, 2, 3, put them somewhere safe. And then, like I was saying, here's how to do this bit. Simple, just pull that. And then you can unhook it from there. Obviously don't lose that spring. And then this you feed this around, just to pop it out of the way. Then this one, I think best thing to do. What's that? Okay, that's the choke, isn't it? Okay, so pop that forward just to get a bit more access to it. And then I think you can just push this down. There you go, I can't see it, I'm pushing it down, there you go. Clicks out the way, and then this, there you go, pops out the way. Oh, okay. Might be a choke issue as well, but until I kind of get this out and see how the butterflies are moving, well, I'm sure it's just gunked up because we're not getting that fuel into the cylinder to ignite. So yeah, hopefully a bit of carb cleaner is going to fix this. Anyway, what am I doing now? So that's, I can remove this top part now. He says, no I can't. What? Oh, I've done the wrong ones. Okay, I'm meant to do that one and that one, not those bits. Idiot. So now, as you can see, that'll allow me to get on that nut there, on that screw, that bolt. Sorry. Yeah, might need to get, that's interesting. Yeah, I need to pull this hose off basically here, and that fuel hose there, and what does that connect? Okay, that goes into the cylinder at the top. Interesting. Whilst I'm at it, let's have a little look at this. The belt. Probably need to replace that at some point soon. God, I've got to get the flywheel off to do that, I expect. Another video. It'll be alright for a bit. Yeah, let's get that carb off. So basically I've just undone those massive bolts, taken that one out. As I was undoing that one, literally this just kind of dropped. So what I'm going to do is, you don't actually need to take off this pipe. That can just hang there, that can just sit there. I'm going to keep that bolt in there so it's not fiddly when we come to it later. Got the surface rust on this flywheel. That suggests water at some point has been battering this. And this plate here. Interesting. It's got loads of hair, like weird hairs as well. They don't look like animal hairs, so they look like, I don't know. It's red. It looks like some kind of maybe pipe cleaner. Oh, I don't know. Just making it up now. Yeah, it's red. Red hairs all over that, kind of stuck to any bits of oil. Anyway, right, we've almost got this carb on. I've just got to sort this linkage at the bottom out. Looks like the easiest thing to do here is, you know, pop it out of there, and then we're good to go. Yeah, let's do that. As you can see, this kind of, oh man, this literally, I thought this was going to be stuck on there. It wasn't. It just kind of just all fell off. So that gasket, what on earth? See all that shit? What is that? That can't be good. That's going to be going. That's the exhaust. Okay. that the exhaust? Strange. I don't think that's going to be good if that gets into any part of the engine. What the hell is that? It's like silicon. That's very bizarre. Pretty sure if that gets really hot, yeah, if that gets any heat in that, that's going to start melting. It already looks like it's done something strange. Yeah, better get this off, better whip it off and clean it all up, I think. Okay, in the workshop, boys. Here's the carb. Probably should get that linkage off really, just to get it out of the way, but we'll do that in a bit. What on earth is going on there? Looks like obviously someone's used gasket sealer, whatever it is, and maybe put a bit too much on, and when it compressed, when they screwed it, bolted it back on, it's all kind of gone into that area, which is not ideal. So I shall be cutting all of that out, scraping that out. Need two hands for this really. I need to just show you like, how are we gonna do this? Yeah, okay, so you know obviously the butterfly, you can see it there, and that's working. I mean, I'm just gonna, there it, oh, I'm just so sorry about this. Goes to that point there, and I'm pretty sure it starts scraping on that. That's stuff. The gasket sealer. It's just touching in. See where that blob is? That big blob. See that big bit? I think it's touching that. Don't think that would stop the engine from running. I'm pretty sure it's nothing to do with that really. I'm pretty sure it's just more of a blockage in the jets. So I'm going to get the bowl off and have a little look at the condition of that and see how much gunk there is in there. Hopefully there is lots of gunk in there, and that'll explain it. If there's not and it looks clean, then still got to continue diagnosing it. But yeah, fingers crossed, that's probably what the issue is. 99% of the time when it's a fuel issue, starving the engine, it's the blocked, what's it called? The blocked idle jet. Anyway, let's get this bulb removed, and we'll see what's the exciting part of seeing what gunk's in there. Here we go then, guys. Loads of really disgusting like fuel has been dripping out slowly as I've been, come on camera, focus. Look at that, the state of that. It's like almost mud. Disgusting. You can see, God knows, it's like separation almost, potentially water in there. And as you can see, look, there's particles floating around, all sorts of stuff. Look on the gasket, there's like mud or some crap in that corner here. Just even on the gasket, like what? That is disgusting. Let's pour it out. Oh, definitely got to get some carb cleaner because that is atrocious. I'm going to actually see if this will ignite, because that would be interesting, just to see if it is flammable still, Probably will be, just about. But yeah, that's definitely got to clean that bowl out. Just trying to see where, when you get a little screw to drain the bowl, I guess it's that there. That looks like a screw to drain the bowl, yeah. Yeah, because I guess the fuel goes into that channel and then it goes, that's the probably lowest point of the bowl. Oh, if only I knew that earlier. But now, by taking these things apart, you find out all these really interesting things, right? I don't know what that bit is there. Oh. Where's the bubbles coming out of? Oh, look. See that there? Huh. Squirting out of there. What does that mean? As you twist the throttle, there's a thing that comes down, and at full throttle slash very like half throttle onwards, the bit touches that and then it pushes it down. But that's a really tight spring on that. So it's obviously, well, it's a pump, isn't it? It's pumping fuel and it's spitting it out of that bit. Where the hell is that going? Obviously got to look at the other part of the carb to see. That's an interesting thing. Well, here's the other side of the carburettor with the bulb. Sorry, the float. What am I about? Look at that stuff stuck around one of the jets. What is that? What is that sludge? It's like a big bogey. Yeah, so that's obviously... What on earth? Okay. So I need to get those jets out and give them that jet there. Give that a good old clean. What was I looking for? Oh, there. Ah. See that rubber thing on the right hand side, this thing here? That was definitely, I think that's in line with what we were just pumping. So if we turn that over, is that the little, yeah, look at that, there's a little spout that goes into that kind of chamber. So that sprays, that's maybe how you prime it then. So as you twist the throttle round, you kind of twist it around to full throttle and it kind of squirts some fuel into this chamber. So that's got to be something to do with when you're priming it. Interesting. Didn't know that. I mean, I could be completely wrong here. Weird. I need to do a bit of research to see what that actually, if I'm right by thinking that. Anyway, don't think that's anything to do with why it's not working. It just needs a clean up. Yeah, this is, like I was saying before, something when you're throttling down, this part here pushes on that little pump thing and then squirts the water out, as you saw. Sorry, it squirts the petrol out of that little hole there, and then it goes straight up that spout. You see that thing that's on that goldy brassy thing, brass thing? I was wondering what that was. So that must be priming it slash on a cold start, along with obviously the choke. Anyway, I'm just making a lot of assumptions here. Don't know if that's actually correct, but logically, that's how I would look at that. Anyway, back to what we're doing. Need to go and get some carb cleaner and clean the hell out of all of this. I can just pick that off with my finger. Oh man, what is that? Oh, it's just a lump of, it's like, yeah, particles. Sandy, woody. Not good. How on earth has that got in there? That means, yeah, if that's in there, that's gone through the jets, so the jets must be blocked pretty badly. Need to get a new fuel filter as well. Just sniffing that smells a bit weird. Whew. Dirty. I'm going to light this and see what happens. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So yeah, as I was saying, I am going to light this stuff, see if it's actually, you can see it's completely separated. It's no wonder that engine wasn't going to start. So what are we left with? Varnish and water maybe? Oh God, that's disgusting. Anyway, I'm going to dribble. I'm going to drip that. I'm going to dribble it over this stick. Actually, that's a wet bit of stick. You know what? No, it's not going to work, is it? Should we just pour it? Let's pour it here. Let's pour it on the pavement, see what happens. And then at least those screws can stay up there. Right, blowtorch. Who thinks this is going to light then? What on earth? Look at that. Nothing. What on earth? There you go. Just to prove a point, I'm just going to do it straight in the bucket, see what happens. Ready? Stand back for this one. Oh, hello. Put some fire. Okay, yeah. Oh my god. Okay, don't try that at home, kids. What a wally, almost melted my bucket. I need that. Well, so what does that suggest? The stuff that actually dribbled out, God knows what that was. That had separated from the actual, you know, that was clearly like the ethanol or whatever was left over. So whatever separated, the varnish kind of separated from the ethanol, I guess. And that was the varnish. That was the ethanol. I don't know, I'm just making this up, guys. Fun experiment. Make sure you're wearing your goggles, because as you saw then, when I squared that one, it came straight back out. Not good. Look at that. You see that pop? I'll put some fuel in that bit there, sorry, some carb cleaner, and then I'll push the little pump down. And you can see it squirting out. Just put a bit more in it. Ready? Apologies guys, my other camera ran out of battery, so what I've done is I continued to clean the carb. I undone some of the what they called the jets, and hang on a sec. So yeah, so I cleaned every single component I could find in here that had like an area for fuel to flow through. I cleaned it. My concern at this point is I've put it all back together, but the main jet, I think it's the main jet or the idle jet, one or the other, the one right, the central jet, I didn't know how far to do it up, so I've done it up to where it was, so which was pretty much done up all the way. I'm not talking about this, I'm talking inside the bowl, the actual actual main jet or the idle jet. I don't know which one it is, but yeah, I'll find out, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I've done it all the way up, and I've left it just so it was nipping, just as it was tightening, and the O-ring that it was sat on kind of compressed a bit. So I've left it at that. I don't know. That's probably going to make a lot of difference to, you know, it's probably going to, you know, it's going to be the make or break of it should get going. Hopefully we'll get this going. But if it's idling a bit strange, I might need to kind of play around with that. I need to look online and see what the settings are, the factory settings are. But again, like I say, this is a Chinese aftermarket part, I think. So, you know, but carburetors are all very kind of similar. I think I've heard do it all the way up and then back it off, maybe a whole full turn and a half maybe, but who knows. Anyway, we'll get to that bit. But what I'm going to do is just link everything up. I'm going to tighten up this, not going to do it too tight because I might have to whip it off again. But yeah, I'm going to get it to the point where I can actually let the fuel into the carburettor, and we'll give it a couple of tugs, and fingers crossed we might get somewhere with it. Yeah, okay, anyway, let's just get this one done up, that one done up, linkage, like I said. I'll be a bit premature, I've got the old muff rats on, because I've just, like I said, I put that all back together, the carb, gave it a good old prime with a bulb, gave it a prime with this, because now I realise what this little pump does. Literally, that is an absolutely amazing discovery. I'm talking like an amateur here. I am an amateur, you know. I'm just fiddling around with these engines, trying to get them going, you know. It's quite basic mechanics once you understand the principles, the three principles. And yeah, so I'm going to turn it over, and then I'm going to hopefully, well, we're going to get the water running, so I don't want to overheat it, just in case it doesn't cut out. I just want to see how it turns over anyway. Yeah, anyway, let's get that water on and give it some tugs. Right, so just about to give her first or second pull this time. The aim is to keep her going, because I just got it started basically, and then it cut out straight away because I had to choke out still. So fingers crossed. This is the one, boys. Sounded like it oh, hope we caught that, boys, but yeah, you saw that going, right? peeing? Not got any pee come through yet. And then it died. Why is it not peeing? Not peeing, guys. I don't really want to put a new impeller on this, but we might have to. What does that mean? The bulb wasn't pressurised, so could have just run out of petrol. Very bizarre, but very exciting. She sounds pretty healthy. Well, as healthy as that can sound while spluttering. Oh, what's going on with this bulb? This bulb is not. You squeeze it, and the valve is obviously not doing what it needs to do. It's supposed to squeeze the petrol that way and then suck some this way. I think that's probably what the issue is. It's not getting any fuel through at this point. Correct? No. I can't get some priming with that bit. No. Really odd. Yeah, that is ridiculous. That shouldn't be like that, obviously. I don't know if you're picking that up. That should, obviously it's compressed at the moment, it should come out, it should release. How bizarre, what does that mean? What does that mean? Don't know. Definitely think some sort of, the idle screw needs adjusting. Don't know what part that is, but we'll figure that out. Yeah, anyway, it's progress, guys.